Welcome back. So I did a video like this a few years ago, and then when we heard about the reverse retros, I speculated on what they might do. So today, on a day where we've seen the brand new Devils jersey unveiled, I want to look through all 32 teams and go through what I'd like to see them do. And I have not rewatched that old video on what I'd like to see teams do. A lot of what I wanted was throwbacks. And there were even comments like, well, just he wants throwbacks. And then the reverse retros happen. Nostalgia is a big factor in buying jerseys. And when you're creating something brand new, well, it can look like a really good stadium jersey and it can be awesome, or it can look like a bad stadium jersey and be terrible. Now, what I'm wearing for this is the Nashville Predators Blue Third. I love this jersey. And then I'm wearing the hat for the Winter Classic, which I was less than thrilled with. Because I had hoped for the outdoor game that they'd have something in blue and some really nice, but instead they went with the throwback to something that I understand. I understand why they did it and all of that wonderful stuff and the history behind it. But I really wanted a blue jersey. So I'm going to keep this really simple. I'll put Nashville up first. Just do something in blue. Keep it simple. I really think what people want is not some brand new, completely new design, but just lazy throwbacks don't necessarily work either. Obviously, for the Ducks, I'll say like Mighty Ducks, because you want that Mighty Ducks logo. That's why I use it as often as I do. And purple jersey or eggplant, right? And again, it doesn't even have to be like the original. It doesn't have to be identical to what they wore when they first came into the league, but it can be something new striping, and, Mighty Ducks. So yes, that would be kind of a throwback. You could probably do something fun with the Ducks' current design and come up with something a little bit different. Maybe you could go with something a little more cartoony as well if you want to do like a tie-in with the series / movies, but I don't think that's going to happen. Now, Arizona has just switched over to the Kachina. I'd like to see the howling coyote, so the howling logo on a black jersey. Now I know black is overdone, and people are going to say black's overdone. It is, but they already have black as their primary, anyways. I'd like to see the howling logo on the black jersey, with the design, with sort of the striping they had, right, with the red burgundy one they've been wearing. I think that'd be really nice. So just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Kings, either you can do the coat of arms, or just go back to that logo as the primary on a jersey. I don't even know if the colors matter. Like, a lot of people have talked about wanting purple back. Purple would be nicer, foreign blue, however you want to phrase it. But just something simple. So again, I'm trying to keep this list as simple as possible. For New Jersey, we wanted something black with that logo on the front. Very simple. Red shoulders. You could have white shoulders. You could do the logo in white on the black jersey and have like some red accents to it. You could have a little bit of creativity there, but it doesn't have to be that different. For Montreal, you could do... Montreal's tough, right? Because you've got that iconic logo. You've got the colors everybody knows. We've already done the blue jersey with the reverse retro. If we try that again, Montreal fans will not be happy. Can't really do green. It's not one of their colors. This is one of the reasons why their jersey never changes. It stays pretty much the same. With Montreal, I don't think you could get away with a UP jersey. I think people would definitely protest that. So Montreal, I draw a blank on Montreal. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comment section below. Toronto's easier. Just do a green third. That logo works on green. Leaves work in green. I know that sounds weird, but a green leaf actually looks right. So if just something in green. Again, just basic stuff, simple stuff. Tampa. You can take this logo and put it with the old striping from when they first came into the league and the old colors. Absolutely works. Minnesota. I know people don't like red. But you take their primary logo, you throw that on a red jersey, you probably sell quite a few of them. Another that might work, and I know they've done this at the AHL level, is beige. A primary beige colored. Actually, I should change that then from that, because otherwise people are going to think that it's red and beige is what I'm proposing. But you could do a tan or beige colored. Okay, now I can do that slash and tan. So red or something beige, tan, with that head logo on it, and something again nice and keeping them clean, making them look simple. Sometimes with the thirds and the throwbacks, they may look a little busy. Florida, you take that logo right there, you put it on a blue jersey, profit. For the Oilers, I think if they did the gear jersey, so I've got the gear jersey, of course, but they did it in white. Why not? Then it's a couple of things. It's a throwback. Yeah, you have to pay for McFarland for the logo again. Pretty sure he owns the rights to it. I think that's why they haven't used it since then. But still, it's a beautiful logo, and on a white jersey, I think it would look great. You could have their current logo as well on the shoulders, change it up a little bit from what it was. But a white gear jersey would sell like crazy. For Detroit, I've often said black. I don't think black works now. So you could do a red one, and you could just have, you could update the striping, make it maybe a little bit less. I don't know. Bland's not the right word for it, because Detroit's a classic look, but break it up a little bit. And I don't know how to do it without black. So maybe the best way to do this, because I'm trying to think through a way to make it look not bland. And I'm not going to like websites where they've made up their own mock-ups of jerseys and all that, because then it's just gonna confuse the whole thing. Detroit's tough. Detroit and Montreal, for the same reason, are tough. The Rangers, however, is relatively easy because they've got the shield. Use it. Put the shield on the front of a jersey. Doesn't matter if it's blue. Doesn't matter if it's white. You could maybe do a red one, something like that. The Rangers could absolutely do one in red as well. Starter had the fashion jerseys back in the late 90s. They had a Rangers jersey in red. It looked pretty good. Jets, I've talked about the 90s logo before, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I think if you did one in that blue color, so the light blue that they used for that third that they just retired last season, that word mark, people didn't like it, even though there was a jet in the T. If you look at it, there's a jet in the T. You do that light blue, that's a perfectly fine color, but put a new logo on it and have some like really nice stylized jet on it. I think you have yourself a winner. I think that's a really nice jersey. Vancouver's tough. I'll come back to Vancouver. Carolina, you can either do the word mark, but honestly, just the flags. You can do it on a white jersey. You can do it on a red jersey. The hurricane flag you have on the third, as long as you've got the really cool heathering on the sleeves too, it's fantastic. Anything with the flags, I think eventually the hurricane flag logo, it replaces this. I don't know how long that takes, but I think eventually the double hurricane flag replaces the hurricane logo. It looks really nice. Maybe it'll eventually be on their home and away, and this will stick around as the official logo and it'll be on the shoulders, but I like the flags. Calgary, you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see a black jersey with that logo on the front, with the red one, or I'm going to run out of room, aren't I? Or a white Blasty jersey. I've seen somebody's made one online, like you can see on eBay when you search for Blasty jerseys. At least last time I looked, somebody had taken a Calgary Flames, I'll say circa 2004 or 2006. The logo was removed from the front, and they put a Blasty logo on the front. It looks fantastic. Looks really, really nice. And it feels like the whole dislike of Blasty has moved on over the years. And I think people would be down to buy a white one. I know when the reverse retros came out and it was still black, and they made a couple of small changes, but I thought, they could have made a white one and it would have looked really, really nice. Even a red Blasty would probably be okay, although that logo doesn't look as good on a red background as it does on black or on white. Buffalo, I kind of don't want them to touch it, but the late 90s logo, the Angry Goat Head, anything with that on it. You look at their reverse retro, and you look at that Angry Goat Head in the blue and yellow that they have currently, looks great. It does. And so anything with that on it, I think would sell. And again, I'm not talking about like reverse retros here. I'm talking about just like brand new thirds and a brand new design. Boston's tough. They've done so many different jerseys, so many different ways, and I don't know. Chicago's kind of tough too, but I really think they could do a fantastic brand new third with a hawk as their main logo. Now, the one that circulates on the internet that everybody shows when they say, hey, look, the Blackhawks logo looks really nice as a hawk. Look what somebody designed. That logo that shows up is actually owned by somebody, and it's being used by a hockey team in the U.S. So I don't think that's available for Chicago. I'm sure for the right price it would be. But I'm talking about like a brand new Black Hawk jersey. And I think it would look really nice. You can have the native accents in it as well. I think it would look really nice. And again, I'm not talking about replacing the logo or anything. I'm talking about a third jersey. It could be white. It could be red. It doesn't matter. They could go with black. I'd rather they didn't. I'd rather they went with red. Because we can all agree there are too many black jerseys at many points in time in NHL history. Islanders. Oh, I can't speculate with Islanders. They just have so many times that they've tried a third or they've tried, it hasn't worked. Their current third is nice. I don't want to jinx it by saying, here's something else they should do. I'll just leave it at that. The Senators are tough too because they've already gone back to their original logo. People don't really seem to be warm to the idea of the 3D logo right now. Give it another 10 years. People will cycle back and go, actually, we like that, and it'll be back on jerseys. And they've already done the throwbacks to everything. Yeah, Ottawa's a tough one too. Ottawa's a really, really tough one. Vegas did the gold jersey. The gold jersey was kind of what Vegas was built to create as the gold jersey. So, just trying to think to myself, like, I mean, you could do the alt logo as like you could do the alt logo, the star, the Vegas star with the swords. On a white jersey. You have a white jersey with that alternate logo. That could look really nice. Like as the primary. You can do something different with the striping, sure. But it'd be something different. The Capitals, it's easy. Take that eagle that's currently on the shoulder, the eagle that I use a lot as the logo on these boards. Make it the primary on a jersey. Put it right smack dab in the middle. I like the W jersey. I think it's okay. But yeah, and it's not the Screaming Eagle. The Screaming Eagle's something else. But their current alternate logo with that nice eagle in the shape of a W is really nice. And the Capitol building outline underneath, it looks very nice. So they could do something with that on the front. It can be red. It could be blue. It could be white. Do whatever they want with it. I think it would sell. Canucks, I don't know. There's been so many different iterations of the Canucks. People are going to say, well, do the skate logo. Okay, we've done that. I would like to see it in white, but we've already seen that. Johnny Canuck, well, now we have that here in Abbotsford, so it doesn't make any sense for the Vancouver Canucks to copy their AHL team. So I mean, you guys can let me know what you'd like to see. I keep hearing every now and then about the Flying V in green and blue, but it already looks like a grad gown, so green and blue makes it even more grad gown-like. Because there's a lot of high schools that have green and blue as their main colors. Seattle, I think this is coming anyways. Secondary logo on the front. I'm going to call it now. Next season, we'll likely get a third from Seattle. Maybe the year after. Maybe they wait a couple years to introduce a third. But it's going to be the secondary logo on the front. It'll be the lighter blue color of the colors they have on their jerseys, and it'll sell like hotcakes. It'll sell like crazy. It's going to be very popular jersey when that day comes, And because the secondary logo is more stylish than the primary. But I understand why the primary looks the way it does. I get the S, why it's that way, but yeah, the anchor, it looks really nice. So that's going to, I think, happen at some point anyways. So not being psychic or anything, just pretty obvious that's where they're going to go. The Flyers, black 90s style. So their current black jersey is kind of bland, like it's black with the one orange stripe on it. It's kind of bland. They've already done the various shades of orange. Yes, I would like to see them go back to the shade of orange they had that wasn't, a traffic cone orange. But I don't know how much more you could do with the Flyers look. I'd like to see them try out like an alternate logo, but I don't know how you would do that, what that would look like. And I get the bad feeling that it would end up just being a word mark on the front that says Flyers and end up being kind of a letdown. So, yeah, Philadelphia, it's kind of a tougher call because they stick to the same color palette for everything. They've already done various orange jerseys. I mean, if they went back to the Winter Classic they had, was it 6 years ago? 10 years ago? It's been a while. What are years? What is time? But something like that would be nice. But the 90s style that Lindros wore, if they had something like that, doesn't have to be identical, obviously. Not talking about just a throwback, but something like that would look really nice. I don't know why their logo looks nice on black jerseys. You'd think it would wash it out. It doesn't. Pittsburgh's tough. Pittsburgh's already got the word mark that has leaked out. They haven't officially announced, but the black jersey with the Pittsburgh word mark is coming back as their third with their current logo on the shoulders. So that is different than the one that they had in the mid-90s, which had, of course, the Robo Penguin on the shoulder. I will say this. You could take that Robo Penguin and bring it back, but I think if they had a baby blue jersey, and again, that's the color they had when they first came into the league, right? I think if they did a baby blue jersey, I think it could look really nice. You do not have to use the original logo. You can do something completely different. It's almost like I'm pleading for them to try something new instead of just all the old recycling or ugly. So Pittsburgh, I think you could do something fun. Even combination of this, where you have the Robo Penguin design, you could do the blue color palette that they had in the late 70s, which is a darker blue. You could have the baby blue from the 60s, and again, you could do something just completely different. Sort of like it's you look and you go, there's a familiarity to that jersey. It reminds me of, but it's something brand new and completely different because, and then so it hits the nostalgia gland, but it's also brand new and it's something different. I think that's kind of the sweet spot they should be going for here. San Jose, I've thought about, honestly, for a while. I mentioned this in a video recently too. Mentioned this in a live stream on Patreon and for members. The original design, the original striping with this current logo. I think they're missing a really obvious way to sell a bunch of San Jose jerseys, which would be the original look, the original stripes with the current logo, or with the current secondary logo. The full shark. Some people don't like the full bodied shark. I think it's kind of fun. So yeah, I mean, the current logo would work. Original striping, just something a little different. The current jersey's kind of, to me, kind of plain. Needs a little more striping, something to break it up a little bit of orange here and there maybe. And so, yeah, I don't know that they necessarily do that. Colorado, I don't want a Nordiques throwback. I really have a pretty simple option here, which is a blue third with that Avalanche logo on it. And understanding that there's a lot of blue on this board here, but I think the blue for this here, it should be the blue that's currently the secondary color on their jerseys. You just swap them. They did that with the word mark, right? They had the blue word mark jersey. Just do that with the current logo on the front. I think it would look fantastic. And I again, when you're designing these, there's a few things. First off, you're looking for something that you should primarily be looking for something that looks good. And secondly, something that fans like. Something fans look at and go, hey, that's a really good idea. That's why, like, when I see all of these concepts on aesthetics, I don't understand why there aren't NHL media people around, like people who work on the social media teams for social media teams for organizations. That sounds better. I don't understand why they're not looking at that and going, you know what, that's a good design, and then contact the designer and say, hey, so we're interested in maybe adopting your design as the third jersey. How would you like to give us a call? The PR from that would be huge. And then, of course, if it was somebody off Ice Statics would be very grateful. The amount of traffic they would get from that, the amount of submissions they'd get from that. If the NHL came out tomorrow and said, okay, we're going to have 32 third jerseys next year designed by fans for fans, and allowed submissions through some kind of a central website, maybe it's through Aesthetics, maybe it's through one the NHL sets up itself, how could that lose? You could have a situation where there's 32 third jerseys coming in that we all like. Some we'd like more than others, but it could be so much fun to watch these concepts and designs, actually brought to life and on the ice. Dallas is a tough one. I like their current design. I even like the neon jerseys. They've grown on me. I know that's weird, but they've grown on me, and I've made peace with that, and I've moved along. The only problem is I don't have a hat in my Dallas collection that matches that neon jersey at all. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Even the reverse retro Dallas hat, doesn't match. But for Dallas, the Star jersey from the late 90s. If they did that kind of a design as a third, they could use the current logo on it. They could use the logo from the city, the Skyline jersey, right? Which is the neon green. Do something like that. Again, that element from the past, which is the star shape, and then you could have the current logo, the current third jersey logo, something a little bit different, right? So we end off with Columbus. Nope, we've got St. Louis here too. I apologize. I'm not missing anybody else, am I? No, just Columbus and St. Louis. Columbus, a third jersey in white. I think everybody's got the blue cannon that wants it. Why don't we have a white cannon jersey? So I've talked about it before. I'd like to see Columbus have the cannon as their primary logo. I'd like to see that being their home and away jerseys. I think they look fantastic. Clearly, that's not going to happen. So why not give us a white cannon jersey? It'd sell. Could be a cream colored instead of white, sort of like the St. Louis Winter Classic jerseys. But yeah, a white cannon jersey I think would be awesome. I would really enjoy having one of those if that were to happen. And again, it's not about coming up with a brand new design or anything, just some different colors and different options, right? So St. Louis is, I mean, we had the throwback to the 90s design, and then we had the reverse retro version of that 90s design. Now we have the home and away version of the 60s design. So you can do this logo gold jersey. So with St. Louis, a gold jersey with that blue note on it could work. And I'm talking about like not the Nashville color of gold here. I'm talking like the Vegas gold, maybe not the sparkly gold, but in that color, right? Something with St. Louis that really pops. Something that's completely different, because they're going to have that Winter Classic. I would imagine the Winter Classic from this year becomes a third jersey for them, right? In upcoming seasons, like the other one did. So why not do something really different with your, if you want to call it the fourth jersey or the alternate of the alternate, but yeah, do something gold. Do something that's a little bit different. Again, you can keep the logo the same. You can keep the color schemes and the striping relatively similar. Just change the colors up a little bit. But there you go. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below regarding the 32 teams in the NHL. And what design would you like to see? Because yeah, it's interesting to me when we see like today's reveal of the New Jersey Devils jersey, and almost universally people going, Closest I can get is people saying, I'll learn not to hate it, which is how people feel about beer. So I never got to the point where I didn't hate the flavor of beer. I was told that too, first time I tried beer. You'll learn to like it. That's not a thing. It's not. You shouldn't have to learn to like something. It means you don't like it. But what kind of designs would you want to see? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's have some fun with this. And again, it's not necessarily just about, hey, let's throw back to when, because it kind of feels like now the NHL is doing that a lot. We're already hearing there's going to be another reverse retro round for next season. Although I get the feeling that, because there's still some reverse retro team stuff that didn't sell out, we're over a year later, and some of it's now starting to show up on discount. There's some teams that I think are going to try a little bit harder next time around. Say Detroit, Islanders, Dallas. And I honestly think if they did something completely different with this program, that wasn't necessarily just reverse retro, but something different. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.